Welcome back, everybody. Um, Crazy weather today. It was snowing up here. I'm up by Cadillac. It was snowing up here about 45 minutes ago, and now the sun is shining and it's about 50 degrees. It's crazy. But, you know, I think it's just another sign of the times. Speaking of which, what I'm about to say now kind of ties in with the song that we're going to discuss today. 3 o'clock, which is about 3 hours from now, Governor Whitmer is going to make an announcement that she's extending the stay-at-home order. This shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody with half a brain. She's going to ride this thing as long as she can. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. I've been in contact with several representatives and senators, and they have absolutely no intention of trying to stand up to the governor. They're going to go along and play her game, which is unfortunate because they're supposed to represent our interests, and they're not. Instead of limiting the governor's powers, they've decided that they'd rather collect more federal dollars. It always comes down to money. So, just to be clear, your rights are now suspended so that Lansing can collect more money. That's basically what it comes down to. So, with that being said, I try not to make this too political, but you know, this is a channel for music, and music has always had its place in culture, its place in social issues. If you think back to the 60s, a lot of the music coming out at that time was addressing the Vietnam War or civil rights. So music definitely plays a part in all of this. Sometimes music takes the other road and is the pure escapism that we all desire and need sometimes. And definitely a lot of my favorite songs have no meaning to them. You know, rock and roll all night and party every day is about as simple as it gets. There's no political statement there, and those are the kind of songs that we definitely need to help us to escape from reality, even if just for a short while. But we shouldn't get so delusional that we forget that reality is where we live, okay? And we need to take an active role in what's happening. And a lot of songs from the 60s were doing just that. And so today's song is a song that I wrote probably 7 or 8 years ago. I had a guitar riff. Again, it started with the guitar riff, and it had a really cool laid back chord progression. The atmosphere of the song was very laid back, yet it had an intensity to it as well. Lyrically, I had this song title for a long time called Days of the Week, but W-E-A-K, kind of a play on words, a pun. And so I thought, this music has this atmosphere to it that would fit that title perfectly, Days of the Week. And to further the tongue-in-cheek aspect of the song lists each day of the week as you progress through the verses. So it's kind of a double entendre, as they say. So that song, I wrote that song, and then I kind of laid it aside. I thought it was an okay song, but nothing that I thought was all that spectacular. I thought that there were other songs I had written that were much better. And I remember the band was getting ready to play a show, and we were short on songs. We needed 1 or 2 more songs, and we needed them fast, so they needed to be easy. And so on a whim, I just said to the guys, how about this one? It's a song I wrote. If you don't like it, I understand. We'll pick something else. So I played the chords and everything to the song, and they were dumbfounded. They were like, why didn't you bring this to the band sooner? This song is awesome. And for me, I always considered the song to be a throwaway. You know, it was neither here nor there. If we do it, okay. If not, all the better. But we worked on it, and everybody got their parts, and the song just kind of took off. I love the song now, but initially it was something, like I said, it was give or take. When we did Battle of the Bands last year, we were one of the only bands. There were 5 bands. We were one of maybe 2 that did all original music. And when we did Days of the Week, it went over exceptionally well. And then when we got off stage, all the bands that were in the competition came up to us and said, "You guys should win." And the song that they pointed to was Days of the Week, over and over again. And I remember there were 5 bands competing, but then at the end of the night they were going to have this headlining band, which was a Journey tribute band, I believe out of Detroit. And we were talking to the guys in the Journey tribute band, and they said to us, "You guys should win. You did all original material, and that song Days of the Week is killer." So when you get positive feedback from your peers, that means something, especially when you're competing against them. So that meant something to us, and that song is always in the set now, and it will be on our new CD as well. Like I said, the music came together pretty quickly. I knew the mood I was looking for and the atmosphere, and lyrically, like I said, I had the title, and I knew that I wanted to play on that title even further by listing the days of the week through the verses. And the reason I think that song is so relevant now, 7 or 8 years later, is because of where we're at. These are the days of the week. People are depressed, people are worried, they're concerned about their futures, their jobs, their kids, their businesses, and that's good, and that's not out of the ordinary. What is out of the ordinary is that nobody is willing to take back what is theirs, and that's what it means, days of the week. If you went back 250 years to the days of George Washington and Patrick Henry and Thomas Jefferson, they would not be tolerating what is happening right now. That's the difference between people back then and people now. So what happened between then and now? Public school indoctrination, vaccines, fluoride, chemtrails, all this stuff has made us docile. Everybody's afraid to step out of bounds. But I'm telling you right now, if we, the people, don't do something soon, there's not going to be anything left. There'll be nothing left. The politicians never have your best interests at heart, as much as they may say they do. It's typically around election time that they get especially sentimental. And as a reminder, this is an election cycle, an election year for our state representatives. Keep that in mind when you go to the polls. Keep track of who is voting to extend these stay-at-home orders, because it's now with the legislature. Whitmer is not acting on her own. She is now working in conjunction with the legislature. So as much as it's her fault, she does not bear that burden, nor that responsibility, nor that blame alone anymore. So anyway, enough about that. The song, like I said, Days of the Week, I think it's very fitting for right now. But outside of that, outside of what's happening in the world, just as a song, I think it stands on its own very well. And like I said, it's one of our favorites. So we'll go through the chords. There's actually 2 different guitar parts. I'll try to play them both separately, of course. But anyway, when I brought it to the band, we actually added a small little intro. And again, I don't have my foot switch to hit the clean channel, so I'm going to try to do it on a lower volume. But one guitar starts off doing this. then the second guitar comes in just playing one note. That wasn't originally there. That's something that we added later, and that's the beauty of being in a band, is that everybody gets to contribute. Um, you know, the song may have been written by me, but the arrangements, you know, everybody contributed to that, from the drum parts to the lead guitar parts to the bass parts. Everybody puts in their ideas. Everybody has input, and it just elevates the song. So anyway, so that's the intro, and then it kicks in. Alright. So that would be the intro, and that's also going to come back into play on the chorus. Now there's a second guitar that's doing something like sorry, that was sloppy. It's been a minute. Alright, something like that. Like I said, it's been a minute. So there's two guitar parts. That's the intro. That's also used on the chorus. Once we get to the verse, it's basically the entire song. It alternates between those two different chord patterns, like I said, depending if it's the verse or the chorus. I think simplicity is sometimes the best route to go. Obviously, there are some songs that are very complex to play. Take anything by Rush or Tool, Grant, or Led Zeppelin even. The Beatles, a lot of those songs are extremely complex, but a lot of their songs were also very simple, and those songs are just as relevant. I don't claim to be a composer by any means. I write songs, and you know, my philosophy has always been keep it simple, stupid. So it just makes it more identifiable for most people anyway. But that's the song. There's just the two chord patterns for the verses and for the chorus, and like I said, everybody brought something to the song, and it just elevated the song. It just made it better, and that's what we do every time we write a song. So all together, let's try it once more. That's the entire song. That's Days of the Week. Now you know a little bit of the history, the songwriting process, how I think it's especially relevant right now, and then also how you play it. Also, like I said, very simple. Again, thank you for joining. I hope that you will continue to tune in, and we'll do this again. Like I said, over the next few days and weeks, we'll just pick a new original song and go from there. Have a good one.